Fappers, stop fapping. Rockers and Mercuryans, it's Rock Mercury here, and today's episode is a little bit more on the uncomfortable side of things because it's something I'm still dealing with. This is mainly for the men, but also women struggle with this too. But a lot of things I'm going to talk about are mainly regarding to men, so let's just keep it real. So one thing that a lot of men deal with is the addiction to spicy content or adult content. It's at this point in era here in 2024, it feels as if it's hard to even distinguish where this spicy adult content even starts or ends or begins. Like it's crazy. You can be scrolling down Instagram or TikTok or YouTube anywhere, and you can start at the movies or TV shows everywhere, commercials even. Everything seems to be over sexualized, just throwing this heavily sexual energy at us consistently and constantly with no remorse, with no like it seems it's on purpose. It's a purposeful attack on the psyche when it comes to this type of material. Now, the reason it's a more difficult conversation for me to have with you guys is multiple reasons. One of them is because I've been addicted to this type of content since I was very young. I want to say like elementary school, maybe a little earlier. I think probably elementary. I'll say that. Let's go elementary school. People you have around you, friends and stuff may have it out, and they may, especially when the computers first came out. Like that's when things really changed because it went from having a magazine back in the day where you have to have certain magazines that you get from special stores to now it's on the internet available for anyone to access. I think that's been a very damaging thing for the psyche of not just men but women too. But a lot of men struggle with it. I feel like the most when it comes to the scale of of who the audience is of this type of content. So it's been a struggle since then till even now. Like I haven't even fully figured it out. I thought I did, and for a while I was able to mitigate my consumption of that type of content. But Twitter's out there. We got Twitter. We got all kind of things out there that just constantly throw it at our face. Put it right, the availability right in our hands. It's right in the hands of our phones. Hold on one second. Let me check this. My phone, yeah, like it's right in our hands. Like we can just, you can be thinking about it and like immediately within a few buttons, pop, 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 you got some tickle bitties popping in your face or something. It's insane. It's insane what can be here, right? Like what's available for you. And it's very scary, especially for the newer, younger generation that is just like trying to learn what is what. And now you have everything is what right in your face, Also, something I want to discuss in this too is the health situation of it, like how it can affect your health. For men mainly, I know for women too, it can affect their mental health, and also for men, mental health too. But actually, your physical health for men especially, because of what you're releasing out of your body, what kind of energy and what kind of what life energy, life essence you're releasing and spilling out into a paper towel or a napkin or something. Like honestly, like it's let's just keep it really real. Let's just keep it all the way 100. This is the same essence that can create an actual life, but then we're just like ejecting it. Like it's a tricky situation. There's science to support both sides of the coin, but we're gonna discuss that a little bit too in this. Also, this is a very challenging and tricky conversation for me because part of my career was in this industry. Regrettably, I spent quite a few years in this industry. I'm very well known, unfortunately, in this industry. I would like for that to be proofed in, but my biggest regret, I'm about to say one of my biggest regrets, but the biggest regret I have was ever entering this industry. And so my goal is to to flip my regret and my mistakes into hopefully a learning lesson for people, and a lesson in transparency for, the dangers and the damaging effects that type of content can have on our psyche, our community, our relationships, our sex drives, our everything. Like it can really affect us in a really hazardous ways. So I wanted to discuss this because this is, I believe, one of the biggest, absolute biggest addictions that men suffer from is addiction to spicy adult content. I can't say the word right here because this is going to be on all types of different platforms. So I'm going to be dancing around certain words throughout this. So let's start off with the availability part of it. The availability part makes it just so easy for you to immediately, just like you think about it, you can search anything and it becomes a rabbit hole of desensitization, complete desensitization, because everything's available. Like, what can your girlfriend do, or what can your boyfriend do, whatever, what can anyone do, that's going to be more exciting or outrageous or whatever than what you can find online and what you can find on your phone. And that right there creates a whole issue because you're going to always have this feeling of, oh, well, this is boring. Like, the intimacy that I'm experiencing with this person I love or I'm partnered with is boring at this point. Like, oh gosh, like, I need some more. I need to go out and step outside of my relationship and get something more, I need more. And then also it puts us in a situation where people actually do go out there and become more promiscuous because we see these these entertainers, I hate to call them entertainers. We see these troubled oh my gosh, what do we even call it? Because I was part of this industry, so I mean, digital street workers. I call it that. These digital street workers, because that's what they are. There's a P word I like to say what they really are. But they are digital hooking. Can I say that? These digital hooks. Okay, let's call it that. We call it digital hooks because that's what they're doing out there. That's what, like, these people are not. This wasn't most of these people's first plan. Their first idea of what to do with their life was to be in this industry. Some people will tell you that was their idea, but usually those people are suffering from an addiction to being intimate with a lot of random people. There's a lot of different issues that people have in this industry, in that industry of the spicy content industry, because we can see it very clearly because we see the high level of unaliving. So many people have unalived themselves in this industry. Even at the time I was in the industry, like deep in it, I've seen so many of my I hate to say coworkers, but yeah, literally people who I worked with at the time, having major issues with substances, major issues with super depressed, trying to make ends meet. And the crazy part about it is these people who are doing this, they're not even making a lot of money. Like, you would think, like, oh, that you're selling your body, you're out there popping it wide open for the world to see. You think you're making a lot of money. You're not. You're not making a lot of money. If anything, you're getting advertised a lot. You're being pushed out there, so you're more publicly known, and you could transition that into some other profits on the other side of things. But by that point, like, if they were able to run a business in that type of way, if you're in the industry, if you're able to do that, you probably would choose a different type of industry that had a more long lasting, or a more like reputable social view, or what's the word? Something more reputable, something that's not embarrassing to tell your parents, like that kind of vibe, like something that you would be like, yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm just like, if they were able to run a business that way, they wouldn't be out there popping it wide open, taking blue pills just to, be able to feel like, oh, I like this person I just met, let me just go, let me give you the shot you want, let me entertain the masses. Like, that's not entertainment. And even the idea that these people are considered entertainers, which is why I don't want to call that entertainers, is making it seem as if that behavior is entertaining or fun. We keep looking at this type of behavior that we all like, that people want to go look at and relieve themselves to. We look at that behavior as like, oh, I'm just having fun, they're having a good time, oh, look how much fun they're having. But if we really break it down, a lot of us really want more of an intimacy situation. Like, now I'm somebody who, I've been out there in these streets. I've definitely had a lot of partners that is what it is. It is what it is. I've done that, but like, I'll tell you, in those situations, it's not as fun as you think. It really is not as fun as you think, because deep down, I think both people want something deeper, like a more intimate, a more deeper situation, and it feels very empty when you're doing it transactionally. And a lot of these these spicy stars, I call them spicy stars, whatever, are out there doing this with so many people that they become desensitized to the action. They're just numb. And once you lose the beauty that intimacy can be a beautiful connection that winds the spirits of two people together and lets you see, what God is or whatever I'm saying God, but like some people call it that, or the universe, or like the meaning of life. Life is created through that action of connecting in that way. I know some people are same gender, I get that, me too. But like in the most part, that action is made to create and bring in life. But somehow we've perverted it and corrupted it to the space where it literally is taking away life from people, like actually destructing and dismantling the lives of people who didn't plan to go that route in life. Hold on one second. One sec. Yeah, so people who didn't plan, my windows are open. Let me get one more window because it's kind of cold. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I'm still here. It just got cold all of a sudden, so I'm like, let me go ahead and just close those windows up. Real quick. But yeah, so the main thing when it comes to like when things get numb in that kind of way, it may seem like not a big deal. Like, oh, now you can do more scenes, you can get more partners. Like the money's not good, the mental health situation is not good when it comes to it. Yeah, people get tested and all this kind of things, but there's still things being transmitted across the different spicy stars. So they're risking their life every time for these scenes, that aren't even realistic, that are making people at home think that their life is boring, think that their love that they have is something that they can take for granted or disrespect by stepping outside their relationships. They're thinking like, oh, well, this girl over here has some, big balloons. Like, let me go over there and bounce on those instead of my wife. She doesn't have that, and she doesn't have this, and she whatever. Like, we're over here comparing situations, not realizing how depressed people in these videos are. And sometimes, if we want to really get into it, some of those people aren't even doing it to their own will. Like, it's not even what they want to be doing. That's not even their plan. It was like they're literally like they're kidnapped or stuck in traffic. I won't say the word. I don't know what word I can say on here, but stuck in traffic, if you know what I mean. They're like, it's really dark situations out there. And now, thankfully, the situation I was in were more professional, but still very dark. And I've done other videos before on YouTube that I have removed at this point because they were kind of all over the place at that time. And they were kind of calling out some people that I just feel like I don't want any drama with that industry. I don't want to be any part of it. I don't want people to even know a lot about that part. I just want people to know the damaging parts, the damaging aspect of what being in that industry and consuming that kind of content can do for you, all right? So that's for that. The accessibility is just too fast. You can just immediately search it. And the other issue, like I be scrolling on Twitter or TikTok especially, which is an app for all ages, and you'll see people alluding to things, like they'll be wearing something where you can tell that, people are watching for the wrong reasons. They're looking through their shirt or they're looking at their shorts and they're like saying like, ooh, I see that print, and ooh, I see that shirt's really tight, or that, whatever it is. Like they'll see these things and they're like, oh yeah, my link's to my bio, and it's leading them to that type of content. So you're watching them in one place and you know that just a few clicks, you can see this person you're watching completely undressed. You can see them. And it's like, whoa, like that is too, it just, it like takes away the excitement, the illusion of, I hate to say illusion, but it takes away the excitement, it takes away the beauty of us as humans. Like these people are capitalizing off of people just wanting to undress them, and then they create this this social media relationship with this person where they just want to be a part of their lives, like a fly on the wall in this person's life, and kind of envying them, but also like lusting them, and also like all kind of things, like this a cycle of energy that could have been consumed into, that could have been relocated into their own relationship and building their own love and being there for their own family, and it could have gone to somewhere else. But yet, like, we're in these fake relationships with these internet people that we feel like we've seen their intimate side, and so now we know them more. Just because somebody doesn't have clothes on doesn't mean you know them more. And it's creating that illusion that we do. Even people right now, I have a lot of my haters who come to me and they message me. They're like, oh, Rock Mercury, I know what you did, and I have these pictures and I have these videos. And I'm like, do you think I didn't know that I posted certain things? Like, I deleted everything. And just by the way, on a side note, if you see any of my content out there, any content that I have out there, please report it. Report. Except for there's one professional scene that I did out there that if you report it, it doesn't matter because I signed a contract. I can't get that one down. Once I'm rich and I can afford a lawyer, I will be trying to buy that from them. But technically, I signed the contract for that particular scene or whatever. Oh, so regret that. And it's crazy because I was scheduled to do so many more scenes. Like I was scheduled, booked scheduled. And something told me in the beginning of the studio, my studio career in that industry, something like pulled me back out of that. Like I was going through a divorce at the time too. Afterwards, like after I was already in the industry, which this industry kind of pushed toward the divorce too. Like was one of the reasons, not the main reason, but it was more one of the reasons how I was able to separate from my really bad abusive marriage. But it wasn't a good thing that this is why it happened, or this is part of how that all went down. But yeah, one day in the future I would love to get everything taken down because it's like I just don't want myself out there like that. Like I really regret it. Like I genuinely regret that. So please, if you see any other type of content, please report that because I deleted everything that I can delete. And at this point, people on the internet have just taken things and put it on different sites, and it's literally everywhere. Like people send me links all the time. It's so heartbreaking. And so that's to say too, anybody out there who's thinking about going into the industry and just trying it out, whatever, don't do it. There's other things you can do. There's so many other things you can do. There's just so many opportunities, so many things you can do out there. Then do that. And it not only do I not make money off that content, which forget the money, I'm already embarrassed. I hate that it happened. But not only do I not make money from that content, I also lose money from that content. I lose it because the fact that I did that closes doors for me in other realms that I may want to go down, but now that stuff's out there everywhere, like I can't take it back, and it's embarrassing AF. It's just like so heartbreaking. Like sometimes I used to cry about it, and now I'm just like, what do I do now? What can I do? I'm trying to, all I can do is like grill myself and keep going, and then hopefully be able to shut that down. But it's just so crazy how fast people will try to attack you with what your past is and what you've done. And like I said, I am ashamed of that, and I feel like if these other people in the industry, in the spicy industry, were really honest with themselves, then they would be ashamed too. They would know that they've fallen astray. And it's not that they're a bad person. Like, I don't think I'm a bad person. I think at that time I was a bad person. I do think so at that time because I was in a bad state. I was very depressed. I was going through a very abusive marriage at that point. And I was just in a destructive state, very depressed. And I wasn't a, what do you call it? I wasn't the only one that was going through that. A lot of people in the industry are just like that. And you're watching them, you're taking that energy from people who are destroying their bodies and just being reckless with their bodies, reckless with themselves, and just not caring. We're taking that energy in as you're trying to like get yourself some relief because you think they're so hot. Oh, he's so hot. Oh my God, they're so hot. Oh, it's like you don't understand that they're in pain. So you energetically are absorbing a portion of that pain as well. And you wonder why you're feeling even more depressed and more shameful. Like there's a hidden shame in these people who are doing these crazy actions online, right? And so that's a big part right there. Another part I want to talk about is, spicy content and self-regulation, I want to call it, I guess, or reproductive regulation. People doing the do, what men do, whatever. Especially for men. This part is mainly for men, because for women, I don't think that women lose a lot of fluids or anything in this situation. I don't know exactly how it affects them. Because I haven't been with women, but even from what I've learned, I don't know if this affects women as much. But for men especially, we're seeing a super high level of low testosterone. Super high levels of low testosterone, and that's a super big issue. If you really look at it, if we really are honest about what's going on right now and how our diet and our actions are lowering our testosterone levels, keeping us in a space of just not being able to be honest with our not being able to be honest with our hormonal levels. You know, like we're in a space where we're embarrassed about it, but we don't even know where it's coming from. Like, yeah, we're eating soy foods, which is a whole different story nutritionally that can mess up our balances. But when we're just constantly giving away the essence of our life, which literally, like when we do that as men, when we do what to do with that paper, with the paper towel or whatever, when we do, you know, what you do when you watch spicy content, you're releasing a fluid that literally can create lives. Each time it can create hundreds or thousands of lives. And so imagine what that can do if you're able to retain that. There's something called retention. You know, that I've done it before, but like it's kind of tough to really commit to it, but it's worth it. And I've heard people have amazing experiences, especially in Chinese medicine. They say that can create a super powerful immune system and super high muscle gaining abilities and all types of other things like that can be very helpful for the spirit and the body and just your overall health. It's like super helpful if we're able to stop ourselves from spilling our seed, as the Bible calls it. There's a reason why that's in the Bible, and I think even like Cat Williams had did like something on his stand-up comedian show, his stand-up show, where he was talking about how the Garden of Eden isn't technically about like an actual fruit from a tree. Like, it's like, oh, don't eat the fruit from the tree. It's mainly saying that we're the tree, and you know, down there, those two things down there are the fruit. You know, and don't eat from the fruit. So that don't eat from the, like, basically like, don't waste the fruit, don't eat from the fruit. And there's something to that. You know, I never thought about it that way, and I have to look into it more. But it kind of was interesting, an interesting concept to look into if you guys want to, you know, dive into that deeper. But I do believe that it's something that is more damaging than we think. And I know a lot of people, some doctors say, oh, it's okay, it's healthy, it's fine to do that, it's fine, it's okay, not a big deal. But there is a bigger deal to it. There is a bigger, there's a bigger energetic and health damages that we're not really being real with ourselves with. So, like I said, this is something that I'm still on my journey with and trying to heal myself and trying to get into a space where I'm, like abstaining from that as well. It's a tough situation. I've closed myself off. I'm definitely celibate, like on that side. Like I have no interest in being with anybody else in the future. Like I'm on my own path. I'm gonna be as an artist, and so I did a whole video about that. I've chosen celibacy in my life when it comes to partners, but that doesn't change, what happens when when you're watching spicy content and stuff like that. It doesn't happen. It doesn't change even when you don't have the spicy content. Like either way, like I know some people too. There's some people out there who try to do the deed and then try to hold the tube, like how like there's a tube, you try to clink the tube, whatever, and so nothing comes out, but you still get the feeling. That's damaging too. Be careful with that, because that can actually damage your anatomy. I've heard stories about that, and I've like read into that as well. That seems like the best of both worlds kind of situation. Like, oh, you get the joy, but you're not releasing anything. You're not losing any energy. You're not losing any of that vital fluid. But that also can actually damage and bruise certain areas of your anatomy, if you know what I mean. So be careful with that. Like, I wouldn't do that personally, and I've never been able to accomplish that, to be honest. Like, I've actually tried it, but it's something that I don't suggest. But I know it's out there. I know people are like, oh, I could just do that. This is a good way. I don't think that's a good alternative at all, personally. So I'll just be real with that. Another thing I wanted to discuss on here is that the shame part. When you add shame and when you're shameful after, like there's a good part of shame. It's okay to feel like, oh God, like maybe I made the wrong choice. And I feel like I felt that even as super young, because even before the spicy content, there was definitely, self-exploration way before then. And so when you're young, you feel that shame afterwards. And I think it's not totally bad to feel that, but when you're on your journey to changing your behaviors to however you want to do it, as you research and find out what's best for you, the shame can be very damaging for you to actually take real action towards whatever goal you're going to do. Especially when it comes to this, it can make you go deeper and dive into a hole of feeling like you're nothing, and like you're just messed up, and how dare you like mess up again, and oh wow, here you are again with the lotion, the paper towel, you're back at it again. Like, it's just, it can make you feel diminished, but that's not something that you should give into as far as the shame part, because it's better to just be real with yourself. Be real, like, okay, this is what happened. I know what's happening. I know that I've spilled some Bible fluid. I've done the deed. What can I do the next time? How can I learn? How can I, like, what's next? It's more about what's next than just staying in the past and just feeling like beating yourself up. Oh my God, that's probably bad. That's probably bad wording. But anyways, but to attack yourself or discredit yourself for not being able to commit to something that's a new thing you're trying to change in your behavior pattern. A lot of us have been doing this since we're literally super young, super like kids. So it's like it's something that's like gonna take a while to change that behavior. But education and being real with yourself is gonna be able to help that. So it's not about like, oh, it's wrong, it's bad, it's wrong. It's more about like, is it helping you? Is it bringing you forward? There's a reason you feel so exhausted afterwards, feel so like just tired. And it's like, oh my God, I want to pass out. Even if you're with a partner, you just want to pass out because your body's trying to recover. You're trying to recover everything you've put out there. And the body knows that it has to put a lot of energy into creating these special cells that can literally create new lives. That's so crazy. It's so crazy. So, and with women, I'm sure there's certain things that, putting too many things up there or doing too many things to that area down there can cause situations where you're not able to fully experience the intimacy with the partner, so be careful with that too. But I know a lot of women don't really have anything that comes out of there, but some of them do. I've seen some videos, and some women do got a lot of stuff coming out of there, yeah, so we'll leave it on that, but I don't know the female anatomy as much. But anyway, I just want to keep it real with you guys on this journey. Like I said, I have not fixed this for myself. I have not, just to be in complete transparency, even today I haven't, and I knew I was doing this video, and I still wasn't able to commit to, yeah. So anyway, like that's how real I'm keeping it. But my goal is every day to keep learning and do less and trying to figure out how to get into that balance. My goal, I would love to just like completely stop. Honestly, I would love to just stop and be able to retain and be able to get healthier and boost my immune system, which my immune system's been struggling. Because in that community, when you're out there and doing what it do, what you learn from the spicy content, you start to expose yourself to different things that you would have never exposed to if you weren't watching that content that made you want that kind of stuff. Made you want to go and be reckless. We see these people on the phone, and a lot of times, if it's professional content, a lot of those people have been tested, but sometimes they're not. There's some really reckless content out there that I can tell that nobody's being tested in these situations. Like there's certain party scenes and group situations that are like, there's no way there's just no way that everybody is like tested or known. So the people are risking their lives, and we think like, oh great, if they can do it and they're fine, and we're fine too, I can do it too. Like no, like even a small infection or a disease can create something way more hazardous in your life and even cost you your entire life. So just be very serious and conscious with your decisions going forward. Whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to like, keep doing it every day or keep whatever you want to do. But my goal, like I would like to stop personally and just to put that into my art, my work. I want to work out more. I want to have more testosterone flowing to work out and to get the different goals that I have, my concentration, my energy. Like I want to boost those levels. So I'm being real about this journey. I know a lot of people on here, like I've seen other videos of people like talking about this, and it's not that many videos, honestly. And a lot of people aren't honest about where they are at in their journey. So I'm like, you know what? I have not conquered this yet, but I can still speak on it because I have been so in this industry. I've been so in this subject. And again, I'm not in the industry at all. Like I make none of that. I don't indulge as far as like creating that type of content. And my goal is to stop consuming it completely too. But like I said, sometimes it's challenging when you're on certain, like even TikTok, like the places you think are safe places, or even just watching a commercial, it's just thrown in your face. Like there is a plan. And here goes my conspiracy side, because people always say like, oh, when you start going to the government part and you start saying what the government wants, it's conspiracy, conspiracy. No, I do think that there's a bigger picture. There's a reason why they're constantly pushing sexually charged things at us, just constantly like, oh, right in our face, everywhere. Oh my God, that sounds, pause right there too. Anyways, like it's a reason why it's being thrown at us. And the reason I believe is for being docile. When men are emptied out, we become docile. Much more like way less testosterone to fight against the powers that be. That's one reason right there. There's another reason of lowering the population. The more that action is taken, like you're not gonna be creating a new life. Like you're gonna be satisfied, so you're not gonna be creating a new life. And instead, so that there's just different parts to it. There's some different parts to it. So I really want you guys to just recognize the realness of it. The realness. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to put this up right here. People smacking on my door. The lighting was like too bright. And so there's an agenda for this. This is incentivized. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry for a reason. Not every country is doing this the same way as America is. So just be conscious of it. I know people don't like when I go into my conspiracy, whatever, but I've seen some stuff. I've been around this industry. I've been around government situations as well that I'm choosing not to discuss too deeply because I'm trying to move away from that. And I just do 100% believe that there is an incentivization of sexualization. So just take that as you will. Also to destroy the families. I think that the more people are watching this kind of content, your families are being destroyed. You're wanting to go step out in your marriage. You're wanting to you're having fights over it. You are unsatisfied by your partner because of what you're seeing and what the other options are. Like there's so many aspects to it. So just be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Next time you're indulging, and just decide what's best for you. For me, like I said, I would love for it to be done. I would love to be done. So, just checking the timer thing. Okay, so that's it for this topic. This is a very uncomfortable topic. I can't wait till tomorrow's topic. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna talk about tomorrow, because this was a tough one. And I like to do things that I feel like are gonna be helpful towards my community, because I know a lot of you guys are dealing with this. Men and women are dealing with this. I mean, it's thrown in your face. You're supposed to be dealing with this. So take the shame away. Don't shame yourself for what you're going through, but be real with yourself. Shame doesn't help anything, but be real. Be real about yourself. Be real with what you're feeling, with the damages that spicy adult content has created in your life. So because it's affected us all. It's affected us all. And don't think that, oh, back in the olden days they didn't have that. No, they had magazines. They had it too. They had other spicy pictures, and they had other stuff. This isn't new. Even in Roman eras, they had statues that were doing the most. Some of those statues were doing a lot, or different paintings that were like, ooh, what? Like, why they have to be doing that? It's been out here. This is not new. This is not new. Since the beginning of photography, there's been some stuff out there. So this is not a new battle, but it's gotten way more easier because, like I said, it's right on your phone. Pull your phone out, and probably some of y'all after this video, y'all gonna be like, you know what? I'm glad he reminded me to go watch some spicy content. Let me go turn some on right now. Let me go get my lotion and some of y'all are literally gonna do that after this video, just because I reminded you. So, anyways, you guys, rock on, Mercuryans. I'm so grateful for my community. We're gonna have a lot more deep dives and conversations with different types and different topics. So I hope that you guys are ready for that. And I will see you guys soon on the next video, rockers and Mercuryans. Bye. And Fapper, stop fapping. Fapper, stop fapping right now. I see you. Put that down. Put the lotion down right now. Right now. All right, bye, you guys. Rock on, Mercuryans. Peace.